Next is the choice of fluid. This is again very important, students. The choice of the fluids. There are three types of fluids that we have. There are three types of fluids, three basic category of fluids. The first is crystalloid, the another one is colloid, and the third is blood and blood products. So we have crystalloid, we have colloid, and we have blood and blood products. This is very important. Blood and blood products. Now if we talk about crystalloid, colloid, blood and blood product, let us have a basic idea. Crystalloids are generally preferred in case of what? Hypovolemic shock. They are actually the first line of fluids which are used in what? Trauma. Crystalloids. Colloids are generally avoided in first 12 to 24 hours. We'll see this in detail why this happens. But remember, what are the options that we have in crystalloids? What are the types of crystalloids which are available? We have to remember them under three categories. Either it could be hypotonic fluids. So if we talk about hypotonic fluid, the first that we have is 5% dextrose. 5% dextrose. The next that we have is isotonic. So tonicity or the osmolarity is equal to what? That of what? Blood. So isotonic solutions are, we have 0.9%, or you can say 1 normal, yes, NaCl. So normal saline. We have ringer lactate. We have plasma light. So they are all isotonic fluids. Then comes the question of hypertonic. Fluids. What fluids are hypertonic? Yes, we have DNS. Dextrose, a combination of 5% dextrose and normal saline, DNS. Then you have 3 normal NaCl. This is commonly known as what? Hypertonic saline. So DNS, 3 normal NaCl. What else? We have something which is known as Darrow solution. What do you mean by Darrow solution? Yes, this is very important also. Darrow solution is a solution which has maximum K plus concentration. Darrow solution is a solution which is having maximum K plus concentration, and hence this is preferred as a fluid in case of hypokalemia. So this is preferred for hypokalemia. For hypokalemia. Now if you talk about the concept of colloids, let us see them also. Colloids. Now what are colloids? The only thing that you should know, they are bioengineered heavy protein molecules. They are bioengineered, yes, heavy protein molecules. So they are bioengineered heavy protein molecules, and we'll discuss in detail about their mechanism of action and how they work. But yes, for this chart, let us remember this only. Within 2 minutes, we'll discuss what is the concept of colloid and how they work, because this always creates a lot of confusion. Now, what about this group? Blood and blood products. What about this group? Blood and blood products. Now, this is again very important. It is whole blood. It contains whole blood. Yes. It contains, you can have option of packed RBCs, PRBCs or packed RBCs. You have option of FFP, freshly frozen plasma. You have option of platelets. Yes. You have option of factor 7. You have recombinant factor 7 also. You have recombinant factor 7 also. You also have an option of cryoprecipitates. A very important thing that you need to remember is blood is the main source, or you can say the blood is the most important part of any resuscitation. Suppose if you take a patient of grade 3 hypovolemic shock or grade 4 hypovolemic shock, they are the one who actually require blood. You cannot manage them with what fluids. So crystalloids are used, but yes, to a limited extent, after which it is blood which is going to play a role. Do you know recombinant factor 7? Recombinant factor 7 is proven to improve the coagulation cycle of a patient and hence reduce the incidence of bleeding and hence prevent hypovolemic shock or improve the patients from hypovolemic shock if administered in patients of trauma. So recombinant factor 7 is really a very important thing as far as the hemostasis is concerned.